Now, the first couple of questions on the test are the same as like they were on the quiz, which are your formulas. So your slope-intercept form is the one that involves the y-intercept. So which one is that slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b, because b is the y-intercept. Now what's the other one, the point slope form? Y minus y1, which is your y number, equals slope, parenthesis, x minus your x number. And then we have our slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Those are the first three questions on the test. And I don't remember what order they're in, so I can't remember everything in the world, but those are the first three questions on the test. So you should get those three. Now, this isn't a question on the test, but I would write it somewhere on your paper as well, is your Hoy Vux for your horizontal and vertical lines, just so that you've got that up there. I'm not going to skip any of these. We're going to do the whole thing, all right? Because we just had a longish break. And I want to make sure we know what's going on. So first one, write the equation in slope-intercept form that goes through this point with this slope. You have all your ingredients. You just need to put them into the recipe. It'll be y minus which one of those numbers? 3. Do you see how 3 is your y value? Equals, and then what comes next? 3. The slope is also 3. Parenthesis. X minus, good, perfect. Now, once you have it set up, you have 2 steps. What are you going to do next? Good, distribute. So y minus 3 equals, what do you get when you distribute that? Minus 6, good. And then you have one more step. You want to get y by itself. So you're going to add over the 3. So it'll be y equals 3x. Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. And you can always use a calculator.
5 minutes.
Enough. All right. Write the equation in slope-intercept form that goes through these 2 points. Now you would need to notice that they both have what? If you are a good noticer, you won't have to do. And negative 2, is that the x or the y? So your answer is x equals negative 2, and that's it, because it's a vertical line. If both the y values were the same, it would be y equals whatever. And it would be a horizontal line. But if you notice that, you don't have to do any work. That's just your answer. All right. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. X-intercept of negative 4. Now, we just reviewed the vocabulary. How would you write an x-intercept of negative 4? As something, comma, something. Negative 4, 0. It's x comma y. So the x needs to be the negative 4. Y-intercept of 10. If the y-intercept is 10, perfect. And now we need to get the slope. So using your slope formula, we've got it written right here. We're going to subtract the y numbers, subtract the x numbers. Which two are your y numbers? Good. 10 minus. See, when you guys are all listening and paying attention to me, this goes so well. And your grades are all good. Let's continue that. Now, denominator would be 0 minus negative 4. So good. And then you could just type that in the calculator. I'm going to be your calculator for right now. It would be 5 over 2. Now you can just write out the answer. You don't need to do work like we did for this first one, because you have, what is this? The y-intercept. So this is your slope. This is your y-intercept. Your answer will be in y equals mx plus b form. What will it be? Y equals... Good. 5 over 2x plus 10. So when you have that y-intercept, that saves you some work. Okay? Good. Keep listening and I'll give you a break halfway through this. All right. The next basic one. Write the equation of a line with a slope of 0 that goes through this point. All right, look. Slope of 0, and think before you answer. Is that x equals or y equals? Look back at your Hoy Bucks for 0 slope. Y equals, good. So it's going to be y equals. This is like that Quizlet game that I keep drilling you on. And what's the y number from your point? -4. Slope of 0. Y equals. Hoy. Horizontal line, 0 slope, y equals. All right, what do you notice about these 2 points? What's the same about them? Go ahead. Do you see how the y number is the same? So your answer will be what? You don't have to do any work. Y equals -5. It's those horizontal and vertical lines that don't have any work. You just have to be a good noticer. All right, and then in the table, we need to find our slope. So do y first, then x. What's changing for the y? That's +4. And then from -3 to 0 is +3. Very good. So your slope is 4/3. Good job. That was good. You followed directions. All right, now you can just go ahead and write the answer because you have what point here? It's the y-intercept. So your answer will be y equals 4/3 x plus 8. If you have the y-intercept, you don't have to do more work. Okay, go ahead and flip to the next page. You guys stay quiet and listening. We'll do this one and then I'll give you a break. Now, these are your lines of best fit. This comes from the calculator. So let's review. I'm going to share my screen and we'll see if you guys remember which buttons to press. Oh, whoops. Let me stop that. I didn't realize I was on the wrong screen. I apologize. Go to the calculator. All right. What button do I hit first to like start the whole party? Good. Plus. You guys all need to look because there's no explanation other than here, type it in. All right, so your X numbers. Looking at your paper, your X numbers are going to be 6 and then what else? 8, 9, 16. Okay, just make sure we know which ones they're going to be. Now you're going to have to just sit tight and watch me type them. I know that's not super interesting, but that's kind of how this works. 6, 8, 9, 16, 17, 18, 26. And if you type one thing wrong, it's not going to work. So you got to be really careful. All right. And then Y numbers would be, stop that. Be respectful of my things.
I'll put them right there.
Okay. That didn't take that long. Thank you for your attention. Now, what button do I hit next? Because I don't see anything over here. You hit the magnifying glass, they will show up. Do you see how it's not a perfect line, but it's line-ish? All right, I'm going to come down to the next box and type y equals mx plus b. But no line shows up because there's 2 things you have to change. Do you remember what we have to change about that? All right, you need ones. There's not any special trick to that. You just hit the number 1. Squiggle, the little tilde thing. Oh my gosh, look, it showed up. All right, now I know it's really small. You probably can't see back there, but we'll just round to 1 decimal place. Do you see where I'm pointing right here though? For M and B? M is -0.5. B is 30.3. So it said M is -0.5. B is 30.3. How would I put that together into the answer? Because if you write this, I can't give you credit for that. You have to actually write an equation. It would be what? Good. Y equals -0.5 x plus 30.3. Now, did we do any work for that? No, it all happens within the calculator, but you have to know what buttons to press. Let's try one more of those. Okay. Now, when you go to a second question, and please listen to this because when you are taking the test, I cannot help you with the calculator at all. You can't call me over and be like, what button do I press? Or this won't work, or I can't fix it, because on the SOL, you don't get any help with that. What do you need to do before you start a new problem? Erase it all. And I get that that's annoying, But I am telling you from experience, it's not going to work if you don't do that. Okay. So now you guys need to just sit tight and be patient while I type it all in. But you guys need to know how to do this fast. Okay. Now let's see all the Y values. And what is this one about? While I'm typing it, can you read it? Like, what's this problem about? Is this from like Burger King or whatever? Hey guys, does it make sense that the more calories something has, the more fat it's probably gonna have? Like when one goes up, the other also goes up. All right, I got it all typed in. Can you look? What do I hit now? Because I don't see any data. You hit the magnifying glass. It's not perfect, but do you see how it's line-ish? Okay, now I'm gonna come down here and type y equals mx plus b. I'm gonna put in the ones, and I'm going to change it to the tilde. Now I know it's kind of small, but do you guys see where I'm pointing here to get the answer? It says m is 11.7. So you're going to have y equals 11.7x, and then it says b is 193.9. There is no work. You just copy it from the calculator. So that's what you want to write on your paper. I got 11.7 for the slope, and then 193.9 for the y-intercept. So just write it down. And then the last thing we're going to do there is use that equation to do a prediction. You're either going to type x equals or y equals. You just have to look at which one they gave you. So read, look at. Please stop that. Do you see how it gives you 22 grams of fat? Are you reading right there? Is grams of fat x or y? Do you see that? How fat is x? All right. So I'm going to go back to the calculator. I'm going to type x equals 22. And then we're going to get the y value. So just look. I'm going to come down to the next box down, type x equals 22. Where do I click to get my answer? And sometimes you might need to move it to find the intersection. Can you guys see that? I know it's kind of small, but it's 22, comma 451.9. So it would be 451.9, what? Dollars, hours, miles? It was grams, right? Or no, it's calories. X was grams of fat, Y was calories. So just look back at the table to see what your units were. So this last page is on parallel and perpendicular. Let's just do a real quick verbal recap. Parallel means same slope. Whatever one has, the other has as well. Perpendicular means you have to change two things. What do you change about the slope? So not the same. For example, if the slope was 3/4, what would your perpendicular slope be? There we go. We just couldn't put it into words. You change the sign, so it's opposite, and you do the reciprocal. You flip it over. Okay, so let's read this first one. Circle all, so it's going to be more than one, of the lines parallel to this. What is the slope of this line? Good. So that means we also want -3/1. What you would do is type them into Desmos one by one and pick all the ones that have a slope of -3. For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this one. To get y alone, you would add over the 3x. So you would get y equals 3x plus 4. Does that have a slope of -3? Y equals 3. No, it's +3. So you don't want that one. What's the slope of this line? 2. So not -3. What's the slope of this line? Okay, so we do want that one. And now this is tricky. Is there an x in this problem at all? No. If it is just y equals, what is the slope? 4. But what does that mean the slope is? The slope is 0, not -3, so you don't want that. And again, you could type them into Desmos, like I'm going to do with these last two. So can you guys please just watch? I'm going to type that one in. It's 6x plus, what is it? 2y equals 4. Let me hit home to put that back to normal. Does that look like a slope of -3? Down 3/1. Do you see that there? Down 3/1. Are you guys with me? I'm gonna hand you test next class, okay? So we do want that one. It has a slope of -3. And then let me type in the last one. It is -3y equals 9x plus 12. Does that look like a slope of -3, down 3/1? Like if you count the little boxes from here to here, down 3/1. Yes, so we want that one. This is the same thing. So I'll go and type them all in. You guys need to watch though. What is the slope of this line? Look where I'm pointing. It is -1/3. So to be perpendicular, what is your perpendicular slope for -1/3? It's positive 3/1 or just 3. So we want all the lines that have a slope of 3. So what you would do is you would type them into Desmos one at a time, and you'd pick all the ones that have a slope of 3. So just watch, guys. I'm going to type this in. I need for you to just watch. The first one, -3x plus y equals 7. Are you looking? Mm-hmm. Does it go up 3/1? Does it look like?
No.
Up 3/1.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay, circle that one. You do want that one. Now this one I don't have to type in because it's in y equals mx plus b. What is the slope of this one? The slope is -3, but we want +3, so we don't want that one. I'll type this one in. If you can't tell just from looking at it, you have to type it in. 3y equals x minus 60. I'll probably have to zoom out to find that one because it's -60. There, does that go up 3/1? No, it looks like it's going up 1/3. So not that one. What is the slope of this one? I shouldn't have to type that in. Slope is 3. Do we want that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'll go ahead and tell you this one's not. You would type it in and look at it. It's not. All right. Save time here. Put it in the calculator. And then do you want this one?
Yeah.
Yes, it is a slope of 3. All right. Now we have 2 more problems here. Write the equation parallel. What does parallel mean about the slopes?
That they don't intersect.
It means they don't intersect, but it means the slopes are the same. What is the slope of this line? You guys still paying attention here? I'm gonna hand you test. Good. Slope is 2. That means we also want a slope of 2. Can you write this down with me? M equals 2. Slope is 2. This is your point and this is your slope. You have all the ingredients. You're gonna put them together. Can I answer a question? Can I answer a question for you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So are you good with slope of 2? Is everyone good with why it's 2? Do you understand why it's 2? That slope was 2. We also want a slope of 2. So you're going to put y minus which one of those numbers? Good. It would be minus -1. So y plus 1 equals 2 parenthesis x plus 3. Good. It would be minus -3, so plus 3. Now you have 2 more steps. You have to distribute the 2. What would that give you?
2x.
Good. Plus.
Yeah, 6.
Good.
Yeah, you know what they're talking about, right?
Well, you got to get it set up before you can do that step. If you can't get it set up, you can't get there. And then what's your last step?
Who's gonna carry the boat?
Yep. Subtract 1. Y equals 2x plus 5. Good. All right. And then last one. Write the equation perpendicular to this slope. What is the slope of the line you're looking at?
-4.
Good. So what's the slope we want? Because it's not -4.
+4.
Positive 1/4. You have to flip it up. Hey, do you get that the reciprocal of 4 is 1/4?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think some of you did. All right. So this is your point. This is your slope. We're going to set it up. Y minus, good, plus 3 equals 1/4 parenthesis
X plus
Minus 5.
-5. Good. And then you have 2 steps, but you can't do those steps until you get it set up. So you have to be able to do that part. Distribute the 1/4. I will be your calculator for you. Be 1/4 x minus 5/4 a fourth times 5 is 5/4, but you could always use a calculator. And then you would subtract 3. Actually, you know what? I will show you that in the calculator so that you understand what buttons to press. It'd be y equals 1/4 x, and then look it. I'm gonna type -5/4, and then -3. To turn that back into a fraction, it's this little blue fraction button. So there it is, -17/4. So just put it in the calculator.